Hey everyone, what's going on? Hope you're all doing great and having an awesome time surviving out there in the ARK. So, we just got another update rolling out for ARK Survival Ascended version 1.074.0117. And honestly, it might seem small on the surface, but there's a lot going on under the hood that's worth breaking down and talking through properly. This one feels like one of those behind the scenes maintenance patches that quietly smooth out the rough edges left from the bigger Fear Ascended update a few days back. So what you're seeing in this video is my expanded and detailed version of the game patch notes, along with a bit of context, how these changes actually matter, and some thoughts on where the game's heading from here. All right, let's start with what this patch actually does. The first big change is that the cosmetic cache limit has been increased to 10 gigabytes. That's actually a pretty big deal if you've noticed your cosmetics, skins, or special event items taking forever to load, or sometimes even re-downloading every time you log back in. Basically, the cache is where the game stores those cosmetic files locally, so it doesn't need to keep fetching them from the servers each time. By bumping it up to 10 gigabytes, the game can now hold on to a much bigger library of assets, meaning faster logins, smoother transitions between servers, and less of that annoying, "why did my skin disappear again" issue. It's not flashy, but this kind of fix genuinely improves your day-to-day experience, especially for players who love customizing their characters and bases with a lot of visual variety. Now, another tweak that caught my eye was a fix related to the Power Rangers skins. If you've been playing during the Fear Ascended event, you probably noticed that those skins were occasionally bugging out, sometimes not showing up correctly or vanishing after a relog. That's been fixed now, which is nice, because those skins were a highlight for a lot of players. And honestly, this is one of those areas where ARK's newer cosmetic system still feels like it's finding its footing. The fact that they're refining how these visual items are stored and displayed shows that Wildcard's actually listening to feedback and tightening things up instead of leaving event items in a messy state. Another interesting part of the update is a small but important terminology change in the graphics settings. What used to be labeled as the performance preset is now renamed to lowest. That might sound trivial, but it's actually a smart move. A lot of players, especially newcomers, were confused, thinking the performance setting was supposed to mean best performance for your system, when in fact, it was the lowest possible setting, focused purely on speed over visuals. Renaming it to lowest clears that up instantly. It's these little bits of user interface clarity that go a long way, especially for people jumping into ARK Ascended for the first time. Next up, they've improved the quality of DAI UI previews. Basically, when you're applying colors to items or armor, the small preview windows should now look sharper and more accurate. Before this update, the preview colors often looked flat or slightly off compared to how they appeared in the game world, which could make designing your color schemes a bit frustrating. Now, what you see is a lot closer to what you'll actually get once you apply it. It's a minor fix, but it makes the process of customizing your gear feel much more polished and satisfying. One of the more technical improvements in this patch deals with mesh pop-in. This has been a big talking point since Ascended launched, especially for players on lower or mid-tier PCs and consoles. You'd be running across the map and objects or terrain pieces would suddenly appear out of nowhere once you got close enough. That's mesh popping. It breaks immersion and can even mess with gameplay if it happens too aggressively. This update supposedly reduces some of those cases, so the world should feel a bit smoother and more stable visually. It doesn't eliminate the problem completely, but it's definitely progress. And of course, there's the good old fixed a crash note buried in there, which usually means one or more of those random stability issues that cause your game to suddenly drop to desktop has been handled. It's not specific, but considering the state of ARK's engine and how frequently we see random crashes tied to memory or assets, every one of these fixes adds up. Now let's talk timing, because that can get confusing. This version dropped for PC players first. It hit Steam and Epic on October 31st, and for console players, it showed up on November 1st. So if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, that's why you might have seen the update appear a day later. Both builds are identical though, it's just the numbering that looks slightly different depending on your system.